Welcome to Inked Up, where we dive into the fascinating world of permanent makeup. This podcast is brought to you by Highstoke, your trusted PMU growth partner, helping permanent makeup artists succeed through marketing, branding, and scaling strategies. Join us in each episode as we unravel the secrets of this ever-evolving industry and provide valuable insights to help you thrive as a PMU artist.
Sean, would love to go a little bit deeper into, the story a little bit, how the brow effects actually got started. How in the world did you get into this crazy industry? Because no one ever really expects to come in here. It just kind of happens by surprise. So I'm curious how you stumbled across all of this.
Yeah, so I'll just give you a quick timeline without making it too long.
Yeah.
So I actually met Lysandra on Facebook and sent her the message. She was dating somebody else. I was like, okay. So that didn't go over well over time. So my follow-up game was strong. And I said, hey, how's the boyfriend thing going? She goes, oh, well, we broke up a while ago and the rest is history. She was in Orlando at the time. And she moved down and we started dating. So I had at the time I was speaking for a real estate company. We're traveling all over the country speaking, and she was working a corporate job she was selling software security services. Very boring office. She was very bored, very uninspired. And long story short, so 2016, they fired her. And she was in that, oh crap moment, what do I do? And I didn't have money to support her. We just started, we've been together for so long, and I was trying to get myself in order too. So took her 150,000-mile Volkswagen Jetta, beat up, and said, you know what, I'm going to learn threading on YouTube. And she literally started going to people's houses.
Wow.
Threading a $20 service and just building one client at a time. And really it was a fill-in because, and she literally, the brow effect came to her in a dream. And I know that sounds like very mushy, but she woke up one day, saw the domain. She's like, I'm taking the brow effect. This is me. And in between then, she was also doing Uber. She was bartending on the weekends. So, dude, we were hustling, man. We were hustling. I was making 20 grand a year. She was probably barely clearing 35. We're trying to figure this out. And then she found out about microblading. Microblading was the cliche term, the big term. Everybody was doing microblading. So she went, took a course, put it on a credit card, took some courses, started going to people's houses, which is not legal in Florida, because she didn't know. A trainer told her, oh yeah, you can do this in people's houses. And it was still Wild West back then. She was driving all over the state. She's like, you got 5 girls, I'll give you a deal. And she was hustling, man. She was just she was working out the deal. And so finally the health department called her and said, hey, are you doing this out of people's houses? She goes, of course. Well, you can't do that. And so oh crap. So so she finally got a small room in the back of a tanning salon, and this place was very sketchy. So the point of that is you don't need a beautiful salon to make it work, as long as you do good work. But and then I had left my job, went to go work for Grant Cardone, and that was about the time where she was starting to build her clientele little by little. She wasn't profitable by any means, but then she's like, hey, I found a salon. She goes, we're living together and you're not going anywhere. And she goes, I found a space in Miami, and she goes, I want to get it. And I was like, dude, I almost pooped myself. And I was like, all right, let me think about this. So anyway, that's when we went into business together officially. I was like, you know what, let's do it. So we got a salon. And sorry, if you hear that, my child in the background, but we got the salon in Miami, and I wasn't able to go full time with her till late 2018 after when I got let go. I was just burnt out. I was like, you know what, I need to run my own business. So I took everything I learned, went to the salon. She had no clients, and we had a massive rent payment to have a storefront in Miami. And I said, look, we're going to burn the ships. And for some of the things, we literally built brick by brick. We had no following. Literally, we had probably a few thousand followers. We weren't anybody special. We didn't have a pigment brand backing us. We had to build one client at a time. So through various aggressive actions, a lot of promotion, taking risk, almost, running out of money, just like everybody on here. Now we're here today.
That's amazing. So it went from your follow-up game being strong on Facebook to this amazing power duo couple business that you have going on now. That's amazing. And the fact that, I've been working with you for the past couple of days and I see that hustler mentality. You guys are just like in the trenches, super scrappy. So that's one of the main things that I've loved about you guys so far. And so, that's amazing, man. And I love to hear more about like how you guys got started and started really growing the Brow Effects, because you guys are the top rated salon out in Florida. And so walk us through that part of the story. I know we're like brick by brick, getting a lot of clients, one by one, but what were some of the processes or part of that journey from, the beginning stages of the threading to getting into the microblading side of things? And then like, how did you catapult in such a few short years?
Yeah. So there's some good questions. So since 2016, like we definitely hit our ceilings plenty of times. There was never oh my God, we're there. Even to this day, we hit ceilings. We hit ceilings, have down months. We have our own issues. Like it's never sunshine and rainbows. We have some weeks where it's sunshine and rainbows, but even to this day, as a business, we're still qualified as a small business, even as big as some people say we've gotten. But the first thing, so where it really started happening is when we got our salon in Miami, and it wasn't because we had a storefront, because in the 5-year lease we just finished the lease there. The 5-year lease, we'd only had 2 walk-ins. So I don't want anybody to think that having a storefront is going to make you successful. It's all about attention. And that's the one thing I learned from my previous bosses: attention flows money. Like money goes where attention flows. The same way you guys are trying to get all these people, thousands of people to PMU World, you got to get attention. So I literally told Lysandra, we got in the salon, there's no clients, and she was Netflixing and chilling. And I say Netflixing and chilling because literally what she would do before I started helping her out, she just didn't have me like helping her. And because she was still learning the art. And I said, look, we're going to get free girls in here. We're going to reach out to every pretty girl in Miami. I don't care who they are. We're going to bring them in here. If they have 1 follower or 1 million, I don't care. And she's like, well, why do we have to work for free? I'm like, we're working for free right now. I said, if there's not a client on that table that's paying us, we're going to go get somebody pretty that we can use for our portfolio and content. We started doing that, man. We started getting, we were sending out, when Instagram allowed it, we were sending out 70 to 100 messages a day. Wow. We kept doing that every single day. Hey, I love your look. Would love to have you. And really, it was also Lysandra getting better at her craft, People, like, our goal is not to make money. Our goal is obviously to survive, but we need people. Like, we need people and eyeballs on us. We started doing that. And matter of fact, we probably did like 80 influencers. 2 of them got us any real following. But it was the content and the frequency that like got us into the marketplace. So little by little, clients started rolling in. And again, it wasn't like a straight shot. We get clients coming in, then it get dead. Clients coming in and get dead. And then we just kept building up the ladder. And then I would say this. So she was doing private training. She never really wanted to train because her intention was not, I'm going to do this to train. But what happened is some lady out of Arizona said, hey, and we were living in our apartment. She goes, hey, how much would you charge for me to come, learn from you? And she goes, well, I'm not really a trainer, because she's like, I don't give speeches. I don't give like these pretty talks. She goes, the lady was like, okay, I'll just pay you to come watch you. So she did. She flew out from Arizona. Wow. And hey, if one person's doing that, then there's plenty of them out there. So we took a risk on our first master class. I spent like $5,000 for a 2-day room, put 20 students in the room. But we committed first. When we published the date before we had a location, before we had any signups, like we committed first. And we said, hey, we're going to have a training in Miami. We'll commit first, figure it out later. And we did. We put 20 students in the room, made a little bit of money, but it was, like, as you know, I can only imagine the work you guys go through putting on a massive conference.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, even if we don't make money, I will use the content. I will use the content to help propel our brand forward. And so, yeah, that was a big pinnacle moment for us. The second master class we did, we lost $7,000, but I'm like, we'll make money off of it anyway, because, you know, I get photo and video. And then we got to a point where we were able to pay the bills, and COVID came. We were shut down for 2.5 months, and but during those 2.5 months, like we were preparing. We're like, hey, we're not going to let this define us. We were prepared. We were working behind the scenes. Like we were preparing everything. We were creating our courses. We were just redoing everything. We weren't stopping. And when we opened up, man, we had everything ready for all systems go. And, you know, we were very fortunate to have, to really just, it was record breaking for us.
Wow.
But I would say this, Danny, I mean, for the one thing that we were always committed was attention. Okay. We were willing to make posts that may have been controversial, because we wanted all attention, good attention and bad attention. Because they say, hey, if you get 50% of the country to hate you, you'll become president. But
that's a good one.
Motion, man. There was many times where, like, we started with $1,000 a month ad budget. The most, I think the highest we ever got to was about $30,000 a month. My goal was $1,000 a day, $1,000 a day, $1,000 in ads going out. And, but I was getting penny views. It's like, dude, if I can pay somebody to see my ad and it only costs me a penny, I'll throw down. And so we made the sacrifice. We didn't go on vacations for the longest time. And we just said, hey, we're just going to reinvest. We're going to constantly reinvest. And, you know, a lot of people, they say, oh, well, I'm looking for this secret algorithm, whatnot. I'm like, dude, like the ads that I spent from 2 years ago those people are now reaching out saying, okay, I'm ready to get my face tattooed, you know?
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just really, man, it's just doing the right actions for a long period of time. It's the owner of Nike, he wasn't able to quit his job for 7 years, you know? And I think the biggest thing in the PMU world is people look at us like, oh, you paid for reviews. I'm like, well, we've had 19,000 paying customers between students and in-person clients. And we ask for reviews. Hey, if we gave you a 5-star service, would you leave us a review? We ask multiple times because it is our ethical duty to get that review so we can provide a great service to the next person. Only 5% of our customer base has left a review. And so now what do I need to do to get another 1,000 reviews? I need to go get another 19,000 customers. So yeah, that's the, hopefully I answered your
That was like 8 or 9 really big golden nuggets for everyone. I want to talk about the first one because we're going to get a lot of artists who are fairly new to the industry. They're trying to break in. And you said something that's very important. And all of the speakers that I've interviewed said the same thing. There's such this negative perception about working for free and losing money when you're starting out. I don't know where that comes from. But you know what I always say is that your priority in the beginning isn't to make as much money as possible. It's to build the business foundations you need to set yourself up for long-term success. Yep. So can you speak on that a little bit in terms of, you know, the perspective of doing model calls and getting people in for free and how that really needs to be a long-term play? And related to that, I love how much of a hustler that you are, because we call this the hoping and praying strategy. When someone, they just sit in their chair, like, I think today 20 people are going to magically come in, when you're basically saying you cold DM'd hundreds of people every single day and, you know, being scrappy and putting your name out there. So can you talk about like how important those two aspects were, especially in the beginning portions of the business? Yeah, for sure.
So look, even to this day, today, Lasan, or actually, if I look at this calendar, we did another free model a few days ago. Okay. Like nobody is too good at a level to not do free models. You're working out your craft. You're getting content and you're putting in the work. Like you're putting that frequency out into the universe, you know? So it's crazy because like we'll go do, like if we did back in the day, 170 to 100 influencers. Dude, we had one lady from Brazil who blew us up. Brazilian following. They're all from Brazil. But I had one person in Canada who's Brazilian who followed this lady come pay for in-person training. So, you know, like we are never good enough to not do the hard work. Like we never say, oh, okay, well, we're at this level and the clients just come to us. No, even to this day, we have to work just as hard as we did. Okay, because like our competition are not other salons. It's CNN and Fox News and CNBC and raining down on all of my potential customers. Because what happens is if you're posting one time a day, you're going to get lost. Okay, you're lost in the sea of who's going to vote for who. Don't trust this race or don't trust that religion. Like they want you to focus on your problems. And I give this example. It's like, hey, the moment somebody sees our model that we did or our ad or whoever, guarantee you 2 seconds later, their kid starts barfing up in the back of the car. Their husband says, hey, I can't pay the bills this month. Like that's the attention piece. Like that's why, man, I see so many people, dude, I've had so many people come through our training. I had this one girl, she was so talented. She did like a few girls, and I don't know if it was family or not. She just got discouraged, and I'd tell her, like, I was like, dude, you're so talented. Just put your head down. Don't expect anything for 5 years. Just that's how the big players do it. Like Elon Musk doesn't expect anything for the longest time. And man, and then they bust out, they quit. And so like the brow effect, man, we said, hey, we need attention. Like we are not trying to get rich up front. Okay, nobody builds a brand by trying to get the $3,000 training sale up front. You know, so that's what we did. We had to make a commitment. We have a list every single day when we would come into the salon. Who were our clients that came in? Did we ask them for a review? Did they leave us a review? If not, we're gonna reach out to them again because people forget. Just because they didn't leave you a review doesn't mean like they forget, dude. Yeah. Hey, how have we been sending out our messages? So what we would do is we would go in and we just pound messages all day long. Now, Instagram, I wouldn't go more than like 25, 30 because Instagram will flag you now. But even to this day, we're looking, I sent a lady to my wife the other day and I'm like, hey, we need this girl. Like she looks good. She'd be great for our platform. But dude, it's constant because you have to assume that 90% of your messages are going to go into the message requests, okay? And if you're messaging women, especially pretty women down in Florida, we also have to compete with the other guys that are trying to hit them up. And, you know, it's funny, and I think it's funny, but it's just the truth. It's like, hey, you got to look at it for what it is. Like if I go into my wife's personal, guarantee you it's full of guys from like back when she was single. And she just doesn't even open it because she knows it's just full of BS. And so that's what we did. We just played the numbers game. So that's for that. And we just kept going. And eventually those girls had other model friends and they'd be like, hey, reach out to the Brow Effect. And we just start getting referrals that way. You know, when you walk in, like one of the things that Lysandra says is when you walk down a mall, okay, and you're going to buy clothing. You look at, let's say, like what are the like Hollister or Abercrombie, Gap, any of those. They're portraying how the customer what they could look like. Okay, now everybody has different skin, everybody's a different age, different facial structure, but when we're building our portfolio and we're not just putting out one good piece of content or a piece of before and after, we're putting out multiple, then we start building trust. Okay. So dude, there was a time where we had no paying clients but we were putting out a lot of content and it gave the illusion that we had a lot of people coming to us through social proof. Now I didn't go out online and lie and say we're fully booked or whatnot. I mean, if we were fully booked, I'd say we're fully booked. But one thing led to another. We just made sure in the beginning that we had people. People. It's so simple. And, I was speaking with a lady who has a photography business. I'm like, dude, if you want to grow this, focus on people. You need to get so many people through there. Come up with some package. It's $50. Give them 3 photos. She's like, but it's $50 for 3 photos. I'm like, yeah, but you have a person that can talk about you and leave you a review, and it's the ripple effect. So did I miss one piece of your question?
No, that's perfect. And then just one more thing I want to tackle is you mentioned that you spent a lot on ads, and in today's world, not to get too technical, but it's all about attention. And it takes so many, in your perspective, how many touch points does it take for somebody to commit to buy in your past experience?
In permanent makeup, probably I would say triple the amount. So they say in the marketing world, like in 10 years ago, it says, oh, you need 9 touches. They need to see that, I think 9 touches. Now, because ads are so more available and easier to do, 10 years, now it's double that. My thing is in permanent makeup, because they are not buying a t-shirt or getting their nails done, something that where if there's a mess up, it's easy to fix. Like if I go get my hair cut, which I'm probably due for one, and the guy messes up, it'll grow back in a week, you know? If this is a tattoo on your face or your lips, there's a lot more trust building because the client's like, hey, is it going to hurt? Am I going to make a mistake? Is it going to be too dark? Are they going to botch me? Because if they botch you, then you got to go through removal, which is a long process. So it's more of a commitment. So I've always told everybody, people come to me and say, hey, Sean, teach me what ads are you running? And this, I'm like, dude, I said, it's not about just the ads. I said, you got to be willing to spend money today and get that client who sees it 2 years from now. To this day, I have clients that say, I've been following you for 3 years. Just I finally mustered up the confidence to come get this done. Now, and it's $1,000 service. What's undercharge is $1,250, so it's a higher ticket. So it's, it's not, I could sell $10 bottle of toothpaste, probably much easier. If I run 30 grand worth of ads, and yes, we built up to that. It's not like we just started running 30 grand. You scale up to that. But some of you on this call, let's say if you're running $1,000 a month, okay? If you know how to divide a penny into 1,000, okay, how many people is that? Okay, is $1,000 worth purse that you want to buy, or would you rather get 10,000 people to see your video?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we always, one of the things so when I used to work for Grant Cardone, he said this, and this is very important to everybody. He says, I'm willing to spend $1 million in ads and only make back 500 grand. And he said, because I know my competition has the different think. They're going to tap out and give up. He goes, I will spend $1 million, only make 500 grand back and then he says, that means I only spent 500 grand to get that total. He goes, because I know down the road, he goes, I'm confident in my business enough where I'm going to convert on that. So, and again, that's not the same for every business model, but, I was like, hey, we're only focused on anything we do today. We know that the people that if we meet people at your conference, they probably won't do anything with us for at least 3 to 4 years. And we're fine with that. That's the long play.
Love it. I think there were a lot of learning lessons there. You're so focused on the long-term play where, it's even okay to not even break even, but lose money off the front end, but be able to make all of that back up in the back end. And heading into 2024, it's definitely a pay to play world. And the fact that we're able to just spend a little bit of money and cut through all of the noise and demand attention to be redirected to us, I think that's one of the most powerful things as I'm going to call you a marketer as well. That's our way. That's a way of thinking, right? So it's been really cool to see you guys do that, and I love your mentality around how to get things viral and making things shareable. I was wait, 2 days ago, and then I woke up one morning and I saw your post. I'm like, what's going on? I saw 49 people tagged her account in an hour. It was crazy, but no, I think it's just a lot of these crazy creative ideas that we definitely start implementing, and I think there's so many people who are still stuck in this hoping and praying for people to come to them and using that as a strategy versus why not just run ads, spend bare minimum $10-$20 a day, and that way you're getting leads. And just because they're not saying yes today doesn't mean they won't be a customer tomorrow. One
of the biggest pieces that's missing in the industry is like just financial money education and the real value of money. It's the value of money changed drastically during the shutdown. Okay, I'm choosing my words because I know they're watching us. I'll give you guys an example. So Michael Saylor, he is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He came out and made a statement. He said, with all the money printed, because 40% of the money that we have today in the US dollar was printed within the last few years. He goes, with all the money printed and all of inflation, he goes, you will have to work 20% harder and produce 20% more to make the same that you did the year before. And I think everybody just get hung up in this comfort of, hey, I'm going to make $100,000. I'm going to be good. I'm going to go buy a Lambo. And, that's not it. Like the goal is you come in this industry and you get your hands dirty. Okay. You build long-term cash flow and you put that into long-term wealth, investments like real estate or whatnot. So I have a money piece just to kind of get everybody thinking. Obviously, we got to fit everything in an hour. But yeah, I'm going to try to make it as direct and hard hitting as possible. That way you guys can and everybody will be able to take the same structure. They can take a photo of my slides if they want to and start applying it immediately. So this is not theory. This is literally things when I create offers, anything that we sell. If anybody on here has been through our funnels, I'm going to show you exactly what the map is. And you'll be like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. A big mistake in permanent makeup, guys, is I know you guys just spent $3,000 on a training, $4,000 on a training. You're like, man, I need to start making these rips. Look at this artist over here. No, you got to start. You be like, just be willing to put in the work, okay? And that's how I start with every relationship. I never say, hey, you just got to pay me right now or do this and you got to do that. No, it's like, hey, I want to provide value because I want Danny to be like, oh, crap. Sean was that guy who above and beyond did things I didn't expect. Like I asked Danny, I'm like, hey, I need one of your training videos. And he was like, oh, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I said, just trust me. And so, and that's part of, and I said, look, I'm going to flow you people. But little things like that, it's not for me to say, look at me. It's saying, hey, dude, let's partner up in the future, man. Let me help you at your next conference. Like, and if anything, it helps us meet more people.
I think with this industry, we tend to forget that sometimes, when you give without any expectation of getting anything in return, that's ultimately how you make the most sales at the end of the day. And so like now I feel so indebted where if Sean's like, let me speak next year, I'm like, all right, you got it. You already locked yourself in for a spot. So let's make it happen.
All right, Danny, give me a credit card. I'm kidding.
Awesome.
Another thing that I've really learned is, in the world of permanent makeup, I know this industry can be very like catty. Everybody's kind of like, oh, don't follow this person, don't get with that person. Because we're all trying to compete for our own.
Thanks so much for taking the time today, guys. Happy Friday,
guys. Thank you. See you all there. Thank you, Danny.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us on this PMU journey. We hope you found inspiration and actionable insights to elevate your career in permanent makeup. To stay updated on the latest trends, tips, and exclusive content, be sure to follow us on social media at High Stroke Media. Don't miss out on our upcoming episodes and exciting PMU news. Until next time, keep creating beauty one stroke at a time.